Today I have the Corvette 2023 Le Mans winner in the LM GTE AM Class. And this is the dirty version. It is by Top Speed Models. Top Speed made both a clean version and a race finished version of this Le Mans winning car. Now, there are a few select model companies that do periodically make these. Spark has had a few. BBR has some fairly recent ones that they're going to be producing. Exodo is another example. Almost Real has some of their Defenders in a dirty version as well. These models are unique, and they do pose a great value proposition for somebody who wants something unique, as well as something that you're not going to necessarily expect. And so when you do see these in a collection or photos of it, it is kind of surprising, and I would say somewhat a pleasant surprise, because you're used to seeing a clean version of a specific car, mostly race cars, but to see one that actually has this rough finish on it, it definitely makes it a special model. Hope you enjoy. One thing I can definitely appreciate about these race finished models is that they're a rarity. You don't have too many companies that actually do a race finished version. So when they do, man, it is something special. And that's what we have here. And the companies that do these race finish, they all do it a little bit different. And that's just based off of my experience with them. So I do have a few race finished cars in my collection. And this one more or less looks like it was sprayed on. And I'm saying that because just from the light and the reflection that you're seeing from the light, it has almost like a satin gloss finish to it. So that's what's giving me the impression that it was done with some kind of spray paint, or there was a layer added after the race finish was applied. Maybe that's what it is. But this is a very well detailed model. If you take a closer look, and we'll start with the wheels, they are definitely very nicely detailed, and something that you may see, and perhaps we'll do a comparison of how much darker everything is. Just the fact that this car out in Le Mans ran in the rain, and that is very typical of Le Mans in that it usually rains during that time in June. So that's what you're seeing here. If you move to the front of the model, again, nicely detailed. You have the lights that look pretty much like the real thing. I really do like the way the headlights reflect back. It almost has a menacing look to it, so that's very nice. Then you have the lower ones as well, and those bulbs are very nicely done. They look like the real deal. The front here, where this grille is, it should be perforated, and it's not. It's completely sealed off, so it's a little disappointment and a miss. If you move to the back of the model, you do have the very nicely perforated grille there, and it is on both sides. The exhaust is decent. I wish it was a little bit deeper as far as the tubing itself. You have this very massive diffuser on the back, and it is a carbon fiber trim. But yeah, look at that. This thing is so aggressive with all this aero effect. So it's very nice. I do like this a lot. The decals on the model are very nicely done. Again, they're darkened because this is their race version, so that's what you're seeing here. The overall shape of the model is very well done as well. Let's go ahead and just take a closer look. Okay, taking in a closer look, again, you can definitely see all the mud and dirt that was thrown at this car as this was running through the race. The windshield is dirty, and you can definitely see the mud and the drops on the windshield as well. Then due to the race finish, it's very difficult to see inside, but something that I really want you to see that I'm capturing here is that just like with the non-race finished version, you still do have the same interior. Again, they pretty much just took a production model and added this effect to it. But you notice how I have this camera on the dashboard and it almost looks as if the dashboard is glowing. And it's because of the type of decals that are used in this model. They actually are reflective. And I've noticed this from a few models. So I really do like that. You can see the controls on the steering wheel. It's very, very well done. I like that a lot. So it's just something to mention there. It's just going throughout the sides here. Now, this is not the most intricate model when it comes to details. It's good, but you're not going to say that this is on the level of a Spark model. It's close, but definitely not there. But at its price point, you get a lot for the money. You really do. You have your antennas there. You have your 3 drivers there. And then just going back to the wheel detail. Those carbon ceramic brakes. It's both for the front and the rear. Up close for the headlights. Now you can clearly see the contrast between a clean, unraced version versus the race version, and just the impact on how, again, all the dirt and mud almost makes it look like they're 2 different shades of yellow. But this just gives you a really good idea of the differences in one that's not been through a race and one that has. And of course, something like this, having both of these, would make a great display. And that is definitely something I think a lot of collectors would probably do with these. Would have been even more interesting is if I could have had or found the 33, which is available, by the way. One clean and one dirty. I just didn't want to have the same 2 cars. Now, because I do have a collection of race winning Corvettes, the way that I like to display them is in a group. So I already have a space planned out for this particular one, and it's going to sit right next to the GTE Pro car. And I believe that one's from 2022. And there you are. So yeah, I have just about every generation since the yellow CompuWare car from back in the day to actually my favorite one, which would be this one here. Of course, you have the C7, and there's your C8s. I really do appreciate and like race finished models. I don't have a lot of them in my collection, and I think it should be that way. It's one of those things that out of a number of clean, nice looking, polished models, you have this one that has this gritty look to it. And I definitely think that is something that, again, makes a really great complement to your existing collection, just like I have with my C8 and other Corvettes. These models retail for roughly about $170 US. This particular one from Top Speed is a limited edition, so there aren't too many of those in circulation, so that's definitely something to keep in mind. And in the long term, if you are into values, because I know that some of you are, A race finish version typically holds its value pretty well, and it sometimes exceeds the clean version of the same car. Please like and subscribe. That is the best way I'm going to know you're enjoying these videos. I appreciate your time, and I look forward to seeing you next time.